Gentleman from Connecticut, Mr. Larson is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Mr. Plowgian, thank you, and I hope you get to speak now. We've heard a lot of speeches. I didn't think we were going back to isolationism, but apparently that's the new road that we're setting out on, is that we're going to stand isolated and alone. Also, just for the record, you know, about the Democratic majorities, they have this body called the Senate. And they have something called the cloture vote. I'm sure all of you are aware of that, where it takes 60 votes. Where in the Constitution does it say you need 60 votes to pass a bill? But Mitch McConnell swears by that, that's exactly what is needed for things to happen and transpire. The House of Representatives should wake up. More than 500 of our bills, Democrat and Republican and nonpartisan, don't get taken up in the United States Senate. I wish the press would write about that, because of the cloture vote. So let's have that for the record. Now, Mr. Plowgian, apparently in the age of isolationism, apparently the United States exists alone in a global economy. And these other 50 countries, as been articulated by Mr. Thompson and was also articulated by Mr. Doggett, are they simply going to, if nothing happens, if the United States doesn't approve this, does this just simply, Pillar 2, just simply go away?
No, Congressman, that's not what would happen. There are jurisdictions that have already implemented Pillar 2, South Korea and Japan being 2 of those, and all EU member states—
South Korea and Japan, are they pretty active economies?
They are.
Oh, all right. And so South Korea and Japan, what other economic impacts would that mean?
Well,
because we want to be isolationists, right?
Right. All EU member states are also obligated to implement Pillar 2, and most have legislation at this point. And there are many of our other major trading partners, the UK, Canada, Australia, that are moving forward.
UK, well. Canada, Australia. Boy, those sound like awful partners for us. So do you really, you know, don't you think we ought to isolate from them? And no?
I don't think so, Congressman. I think we need to be at the negotiating table in order to represent U.S. interests in these discussions. And as you know, the administration has proposed reforms to implement Pillar 2 in the United States as well.
And you kept on talking about a level playing field and allowing the U.S. to compete. How is that to our advantage, especially given this great nation of ours and our ability, as is demonstrated in the global economy, to compete?
Absolutely. So up to now, U.S. multinationals have been the only multinationals that are subject to a minimum tax on their foreign earnings. Now, under Pillar 2, all multinationals, wherever they're headquartered, wherever they operate.
So previously it was only U.S. internationals, and now everyone is subject to that. That seems like it's leveling the playing field to me.
It does, and we believe that U.S. businesses will be able to compete and win in that environment. It also levels the playing field for small businesses and purely domestic firms who cannot shift their profits offshore to avoid paying tax, and so they can compete better.
And why is that important?
That's important because they also need to be able to compete and grow our economy. Small businesses are major employers in the U.S., and that benefits American workers.
So it's the small businessman that really is going to be advantaged, as much as the large multinational is going to be advantaged through competition as well, because it'll be the first time that the other global multinationals will be subject to the same tax. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And that's why the administration is pursuing this policy for business in general, to level the playing field and allow the United States to compete and succeed and to grow jobs and grow this economy.
That's exactly right.
Thank you. I yield back.